What's up, YouTube? I realized I just made a whole video, but you got some good looks at the house of me talking, and because I had it in a selfie stick, I had the thing plugged in and it cut out all the audio. So you essentially learn nothing about how I got rich, how to diversify your portfolio, how to build multiple streams of income. That's what the video is about. So let me give you the Reader's Digest version of what that video entailed. What I'm trying to say is if you want to live in a mansion like me, typically you can't rely on one source of income. And even people that make a ton of money, I was making $140,000 a year this year when I left the bank. But I was also contributing $18,000 a year to my 401k, which is my stock portfolio. And also I received an inheritance, $85,000, a small one, that was invested directly in a brokerage account in blue chip stocks, approximately 20 stocks, and mutual funds in ETFs, which are exchange traded funds. It's like a pooled investment that is traded just like an individual stock, but it contains within it multiple companies. Then last year, or this year rather, we made $140,000 a year at the 9 to 5. It takes up a lot of my time. This explains why I have all this time for these videos now. I made that, and I made $60,000 in real estate transactions. One big real estate transaction that was selling my prior home. I sold it for $270. I bought it for $275 5 years ago. 5 years later, I sold it for $325. So that's $50,000 right there. It's actually more like $60,000, because I sold it for like $335 or $330 or something like that. So within a year, so my base salary was $115. I made a bonus of $25. $115 plus $25, $140. $60 in the house, it's $200. Then I made $20,000 in the stock market. And that's not with having millions of dollars in the stock market. That's with having $200,000 in a 401k and in a brokerage account. Now, I'm also party to a major lawsuit, and I set to get a substantial amount of money. And what am I going to do with that money? I'm going to invest in the stock market. That's before I go out and buy a McLaren. That's before I buy a Mercedes GTR. Before I do any of that, or Rolls Royce. You see me flaunting all this stuff on my Instagram, which is AnthonyRon82. Hashtag AnthonyRon82. Go check me out. That's where I hang out. So this is how you make this kind of money. Now I started 9 years ago. I was making $40,000. I was making $35,000 a year as a staff auditor. I stuck with the auditing game, and I made a career out of internal auditing. And if you want to know what that is, look up the Institute of Internal Auditors. That's www.theiia.com. That's theiia.com, and I can show you how I went from making $45,000 a year to buying a $550,000 mansion that has $20,000 a year in property taxes for this house, because we're on 2.1 acres of prime real estate. And that's the other thing, it's about location. Buy in a hot market. Buy cheap, sell high. For 9 years, I did that with my first house. I bought it for $140, I sold it for $175. Then I moved in, bought a house for $275, and I sold it for $330. Then I bought a house this house is $527. That's what we ended up paying. And I'm putting in a $20,000 California closet. I know that's gonna probably equate to about $30,000 in equity in the home. We might redo the bathroom, the master bathroom, but other than that, just odds and ends and taking care of the property, cutting down some trees, maybe doing a driveway, maybe refacing the pool, updating it. So it's really cosmetics. We're going to refinish the tennis court. That's right, there's a tennis court here. If you want to know more about my house, watch my prior video. Also, you can, like I said, tune in to hashtag AnthonyRon82 on Instagram. I'm on Instagram, Tumblr, YouTube. I'm not on Pinterest. I'm on Periscope, and I'm on Twitter. So Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, those are the main platforms I'm on. So just like you diversify your portfolio of anything, diversify your portfolio of stocks. Get international stocks, domestic stocks, large cap, small cap. ETFs, mutual funds, all that. Get it all. But as Dave Ramsey said, your biggest debt building tool is your income. So I'm not going to sit back and say you don't need to make a lot of money to have what I have. You do. If I was still making $35,000 a year, I wouldn't be able to put $20,000 a year into my 401k. So you really need to work on your education. I have an MBA that was paid for by a prior employer. That's a $30,000 value. I'm a certified application associate for SAP ERP systems. If you don't know what that is, look up SAP. It's the biggest ERP package in the world. I have strong technical skills, a great resume, and I've got Ernst & Young and Goldman Sachs calling me now that I'm a free man. But what I'm trying to do now is build a social media empire following, and it's going to be based off, if you're new to this channel, based off this house, based off my quest to buy a McLaren, and just giving general advice on how to become successful and rich, and give yourself financial freedom, because that's what we all want, right? So I think that'll be a good way to end this video, and that's going to kind of be what we're going to call this. And also tune in, because while I have pending litigation I can't talk about, once it's all settled, I can give you a little more information on what happened, how I left the company and left with the keys to the bank. How do you do that? I'm a bit, I benefited from some good circumstances and some good luck. You got to have some good luck on the way, right? So this is how you, this is what the net result is of all the real estate transactions, all the saving in the stock market, and all the hard work and pain and suffering that's gone along with the things associated with the lawsuit. But again, just hit me up on Instagram to see what I'm doing, because I do post pretty regularly on Instagram. I'm doing 3 to 6 to 9 to 12 pictures a day. And I think, in my personal opinion, since the first 9 photos are what everybody sees, you're going to want to focus on maybe putting out a maximum of 9 Instagram posts a day. Space those out in hours that people are actually on Instagram, such as 5 o'clock p.m. when everybody gets out of work, noon when people are at lunch, and maybe 7, 8 a.m. in the morning when people are getting ready to go out to their work. And this is how I went from making $35,000 a year as a staff auditor to making $225,000 a year across three different income sources: real estate, the stock market, and 9 to 5 income. So get that income up, and I'm a big believer in education. And as you can see, I got my degrees on the wall. I'm very proud of them. And my high school, I went to a college preparatory school, so my parents drove home the importance of education from a very early age in my life. And another thing regarding Instagram fame and getting rich on the internet, I see a lot of guys out there financing supercars, getting $300,000 cars, $250,000 cars, and they don't even have a house. Not the way to do it, guys. You can try to do it that way. You may think that just because there's people who, I'm not going to name any names, but there's a guy who has 1.2 million followers on YouTube, makes a good income. He buys cars cash and uses them in his videos and everything. But at the end of the day, that car is going down in value. Why not buy a house like this and watch that go up in value, while at the same time you're making money by capitalizing it here on the internet and making good content, quality content people want to see. A lot of people care about home and garden. You don't necessarily have to have a supercar. You don't have to. It could be any car. You can take the car you have. I have a Land Rover LR4. I take it off road. There's a lot of interesting things to be said about it, and a lot of people that care about it. It doesn't have to be a Lamborghini. I know you put Lamborghini in the title of your video, and maybe that gets stuff popping off for you, and hopefully it does. But that car, at the end of the day, is going to go in one direction. It's going down in value. You're racking up miles on it. You're funneling money into all these upgrades to keep the narrative interesting. But when I upgrade my house, when I put my $20,000 California closet in the house, guarantee you that is worth more to a next consumer of this house than some exhaust system you put on your McLaren. Okay? Again, not calling out anybody particular, but get your house in order before you start buying cars like that. Or else you're going to be living with a roommate like a college student. So, I did this all throughout my 30s. They say that 20s are the years for learning, 30s are the years for earning, and at least in my experience, that's exactly been the case. So just stay tuned. We're going to get that closet project going. It's going to be very exciting. It's going to be a multiple day project. Again, it's a $20,000 closet. You can see what it looks like. And we got all my fashion clothes, and I got the Bape hoodie on right now. Swarovski crystals. So I, dress how you feel, guys. In business, wear nice suits. You want to show yourself off to people. You are the product, especially if you want to be successful in social media. So I'm going to name this video, I think, How to Achieve Financial Freedom in Your 30s. I'm not 20 years old, but I'm also not some idiot buying a Lamborghini when I'm in my 20s and signing my death notice for my financial future. I mean, some of these guys, I'd like to see their bank accounts. I've posted my bank account on Instagram because I'm not embarrassed. I'm proud of it. It's the way to do it, guys. So stay tuned for more content. All my videos, most of the videos, except for when I go live on Instagram pretty regularly, but most of my long videos now, these are going to be posted to this YouTube channel. And again, I encourage you to go check me out, #AnthonyRon82 on Instagram. I post every day. So have a good one, guys. Peace.